Well, for the first time in 43 years, a condemned inmate is serving his sentence far from San Quentin Prison. He is now at a facility in Tuolumne County as part of the program that's clearing death row.
Right before that move, I spoke to Jarvis Masters from San Quentin to get an update on his case. And it was just as Oprah Winfrey announced that his book is among those that changed her life.
Individual at San Quentin Rehabilitation Center, San Quentin, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
With cameras rarely allowed behind these walls at San Quentin State Prison, we caught up with Jarvis Masters by phone just before he was moved out. As the governor has suspended executions, the state is transferring death row inmates out of San Quentin. Masters was initially afraid that transfer program would lead to violence.
They have made this thing so much easier than what I thought it would be. And I can't stop telling them thank you.
Who are you thanking?
Oh man, custody, mental health, medical, everybody that allowed this thing to go as smoothly as it had, because being extracted to be moved. And the way they handled it, it's just amazing.
So you've thanked your jailers.
Thank everybody who was involved in this, yes.
Well, the transfers went well. The real move he's seeking is his freedom.
I did not commit this crime.
Masters has spent more than half his life on death row for a crime he says he did not commit. He went to the prison in 1981 for armed robbery, but in 1990, he was convicted of making the weapon used to murder corrections officer Sergeant Hal Birchfield.
It was in 1985 that the crime happened. I was in C-section of part of South Block in San Quentin, and I was on the fourth gear, and I heard about Sergeant Birchfield being killed. I had no idea what was going on at that time.
The inmates who planned and carried out the murder were sentenced to life in prison, while Masters was sentenced to death. Since then, the inmates who testified against Masters have admitted that their testimony was false. And another inmate at San Quentin later confessed that he's the one who made the murder weapon, not Masters. One of the victim's own children, Jeremiah Birchfield, is among those calling for Masters to be set free.
This is a man's life at stake, and I don't want my father's death to be in vain. I don't want somebody innocent to be paying for it.
At the time we spoke with Birchfield in 2022, Masters' legal team believed a decision from a federal court would be coming at any time. A year and a half later, Masters is still waiting.
It's really difficult, especially when your legal team's done everything they can, and you believe they've done everything they can, and your innocence is there, and you wonder why is it taking so long?
From prison, Masters wrote a book about his life, including his journey to becoming a Buddhist. Oprah Winfrey chose That Bird Has My Wings for her powerful book club 2 years ago.
Touched me so deeply, and still does today.
Just this past March, Oprah included it in her list of 20 life-changing book recommendations.
And what a story it is. It's Jarvis Masters' memoir.
When she spoke with Masters, she said, quote, "I think of you in the moments when I feel my greatest sense of freedoms, of you not being able to see the same sky I see." Masters says those words help during this excruciatingly long wait for a decision from the courts that could set him free.
When someone says to me, "You're making a difference in my life," it tears me up. I don't care where they're coming from. It can be a guy next door, it can be Oprah Winfrey, it can be anyone. But when someone says that, it brings out your reason for being. It gives you a purpose that is founded on the good idea of being a human being and being a better human being.
And you know, this definitely shines a spotlight on how slowly these cases move. Masters waited through 22 years of state appeals before a New York legal team then volunteered to take his case to the federal level for review, and that's what he's waiting for right now.
It's interesting just to hear him kind of talk his way through what has been his life and the waiting and the pain that he's had. So has he said what he wants to do if he gets out?
You know what's really interesting is he talked about finding a place where he can just walk in one long straight line. He said at prison, it's a short corridor and into a cell, or a short corridor and around a corner. And so he pictures himself, you know, like on a long, endless beach. And to him right now, that's what freedom looks like, being able to walk just in one straight line.
With no restrictions.
With no restrictions.
All right. Thanks, Edie.